Hello everyone, and welcome to the next installment in our series of interviews in relation to our upcoming event ESF MENA 2021, the Energy and Sustainability Forum for the MENA region. My name is Stefan Chapman and I am the Vice President at Bureau Petroleum Consultants. We are an independent consultancy active in the oil, gas and petrochemical sectors, and we are also the organizers of the upcoming event ESF MENA. So ESF MENA is a new regional conference following on from the success of our inaugural ESF Europe, which was held online earlier this year. By focusing on decarbonisation and sustainability in the downstream industry, ESF MENA will support the collaborations, the discussions and the development of a sustainable energy future in which the Middle East downstream industry plays and will continue to play a leading role. Today, I am very honored to be joined by one of our keynote speakers, Dr. Dawood Nassif. Dr. Dawood is the Chairman and Chief Executive at the Bahrain Petroleum Company, BAPCO, as well as a Board Director of the National Oil Gas Authority, NOGA. We are delighted to be able to catch up with him today ahead of the event to discuss some of the key topics that is facing our industry in its journey to a more sustainable future. So Dr. Dawood, a very warm welcome to you and thank you for taking the time to come talk with us today.
Thank you for having me.
If I may, I'd like to dive in straight into our first question, our first discussion point. Over the last few months, we've witnessed many of the Middle East producers begin or reinforce their pivot to sustainability. We've heard some very exciting project announcements. How well positioned do you feel the region is to adapt, and what do you believe are the main opportunities available for the region in reducing its carbon emissions?
Sustainability has always been a central element of the economic and energy balance in the region. With strong political will, abundant renewable energy resources, faced with a growing energy demand, and driven by the need to provide affordable clean energy, the region is well positioned to adopt carbon reduction measures and to capitalize on the considerable renewable energy potential for the region. Recently and in recent years, the region has had notable progress in renewable energy deployment as countries have started their quest to achieve national achievable renewable energy and energy efficiency targets. Renewable energy will not only help reduce carbon emissions, it will also enable the region to meet its growing electricity needs in a sustainable and environmentally friendly manner. Such pursuits are expected to reap socioeconomic benefits, including fossil fuel savings, that can result in cumulative reduction of 2 billion barrels of oil equivalent in fossil fuel consumption up to 2030. And that translates into really large numbers. We're talking about 44 to 75 billion US dollars, depending on the prevailing oil and gas prices. Reduction in the region's carbon footprint and renewable energy will significantly help the region to lessen its carbon footprint. Achieving renewable energy targets by 2030 could reduce the power sector's carbon dioxide emissions by up to 22% and cut water usage in power sector by about 17%. Employment is another factor, and the region is expected to create about 220,000 jobs on the back of its renewable energy deployment across all variety of skills. Beyond renewable energy, as part of its effort to address climate change, the region has also adopted the philosophy of circular carbon economy as an integral part of the strategy, which will see greater emphasis on what we call the 4 R's, which are reduce, reuse, recycle, and remove. So if you look at the IEA energy efficiency measures, they're projected to contribute 40% of the carbon reduction needs to be in line with the Paris Agreement. Reusing and capturing carbon through carbon capture, utilization, and storage allows for reusing carbon and products. Captured carbon can also be used in enhanced oil recovery, helping to increase the productivity of oil wells. Recycled and captured carbon can be transformed into products such as fertilizer, cement, and other forms of energy like synthetics. And new applications are likely to emerge as the technology develops further. And finally, of course, carbon can be removed through direct air capture or through planting of carbon sinks such as mangrove forest. We have an exciting journey ahead, providing the region with yet another opportunity to solidify its leadership status in the global energy markets.
Thank you. I think those are very interesting developments, and it clearly shows the determination the region has in leading the drive towards a more sustainable model and leading a leading position with regards to the energy transition. If we can now look at the region, we know the region are big hydrocarbon producers, and if we're talking about energy transition and a new energy mix, how can the region find a complementary role for liquid fuels and build options for the future with the assets they already have in place?
Regional producers have a strong competitive position of being among the lowest cost producers worldwide, and oil produced in the region, as many people know, is amongst the lowest in the world in terms of carbon intensity. Acknowledging the urgent need to address climate change, efforts are well underway across the region to reduce carbon emissions associated with oil and gas, with the aim to provide the world with affordable, reliable, low-carbon fuel. In view of the carbon demand still positive in the long term, being a substantial and low-cost resource, hydrocarbon will remain a significant part of the energy mix for decades to come. At the GCC, we will ensure that we will be suppliers of choice by staying ahead of our customer needs.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we clearly see from all the discussions we've had recently is that hydrocarbon fuels, fossil fuels, will definitely still have a major role to play in the energy mix for decades to come. Sustainability, obviously, is very much at the forefront of our industry's objectives. With this in mind, could you tell us a bit more about BAPCO's sustainability efforts and the adoption of decarbonisation technologies? For example, it was recently announced an agreement with ART with regards to reclamation of metals from spent catalysts as part of your groundbreaking catalyst management.
Yeah, I mean, the association and the contract with ART is part of many initiatives that we have. BAPCO is committed to protection of Bahrain's environment on a long-term sustainable basis. As a company, we have a history of investments in clean fuels and effluent treatment projects to minimize BAPCO's impact on the environment. These include the low sulfur diesel production project, the refinery gas desulfurization project, the wastewater treatment, and recovery of carbon dioxide from hydrogen. All these have been implemented in the last number of years. And as part of our decarbonization strategy, we're retiring some of our less energy efficient facilities and building new facilities with higher recoveries and better heater efficiencies. Once the BAPCO modernization project, which is underway now, is commissioned and completed, and we hope to start commissioning from end of 2022 and completion projected towards middle of 23, will have improved the refinery energy efficiency index by at least 28% through installation of energy efficient units and the decommissioning of older units. And all units will function in compliance with applicable local environmental regulations, IFC performance standards, IFC World Bank guidelines, and the Equator Principles. So we intend to meet all known regulations locally and internationally. And we're collaborating with various institutions to meet the goals set out in Bahrain's National Renewable Energy Action Plan to achieve 6% renewable energy by 2025 and 10% by 2035. In addition, we have the 5 megawatt solar project, which is already operating in our township, oil township close to the refinery, which has been operating for a number of years. And we've just allocated an additional 45,000 square meters of land, of our own land, installation of solar panels as part of the government aim to generate 100 megawatt of solar energy. Apart from that, BAPCO is actively rehabilitating green spaces around the country and incorporating renewable energy such as solar benches, utilizing tree species that not only offer better shading but also improve the quality of life living nearby. One of our unique initiatives is the planting of mangrove trees in various sites across Bahrain. And a mangrove is one of the best known carbon sinks in the world. And since the black mangrove is native to Bahrain and vital to our marine ecosystems, we want to encourage further growth of this valuable species and shores in our island. We have planted more than 800 mangrove trees this year and have a capacity to plant another 1,600 per year as a result of our specialized mangrove nursery within the refinery. We're also in design stage to constructing a second mangrove nursery for the Supreme Council of the Environment with a capacity of 4,000 trees per year. And we aim to take this initiative further by quantifying the amount of carbon not only by the mangrove trees, but the trees planted in BAPCO, including the mature trees within our Awali township and the Princess Sabika Park, which we also administer. These are all initiatives to show our commitment to the environment from now and to look into the future. Within the BAPCO modernization project, as we alluded to earlier, we have developed a cradle-to-grave catalyst management concept with ART, Advanced Refining Technology, through a full-cycle catalyst management contract for our new resid hydrocracking unit, which is currently under construction under the project. The unit requires substantial quantities of catalyst to maintain its normal operation, and ART will manage the complex catalyst logistics in the most efficient and cost-effective manner. By taking advantage of ART's expertise in the field, we expect to optimize the catalyst transport arrangements, achieve higher metals recoveries, and ensure environmentally compliant disposal of residual catalyst-based material. The recovered metals will then be reused in production of fresh catalyst, which we will use later on in the unit later on. The recycling of metals regulates overall consumption and extends the life of the reserve, hence reducing the carbon footprint. And the contract is aligned with BAPCO's aim of conducting our business in the most environmentally sustainable way.
It's really great to hear all those plans, all those exciting projects and initiatives. It clearly demonstrates BAPCO's willingness and drive to a more sustainable future. Really impressive. We have time for one last question, and it's one question that I've asked all our previous guests in these interviews. It's not an easy question, but here goes. Peering into the crystal ball in a time that is characterized by much uncertainty, much change, what do you think the 2030 downstream producer in the Gulf will look like? And what do you feel will be the big ticket items that we will see our industry invest in the coming decade?
This is a very tricky crystal ball, but let me take a stab at it. In line with regional government's aspirations, we expect to see GCC petrochemical producers transitioning from basic to specialty chemicals and paving the way towards downstream clusters built around manufacturing. This will help the region to generate additional export revenues and boost economic growth and create employment. We also expect to see further investments in refinery petrochemical integration as the region refineries look into ways to upgrade low-value products, expand portfolios, and increase their resiliency. We're doing that ourselves in BAPCO, integrating a petrochemical complex with our current expansion under the Bahrain Modernization Program. So these are the things that we see through the crystal ball coming in and moving towards 2030.
Thank you. I think for sure the key will be further integration, diversification. I think this will keep assets competitive. So thank you very much, Dr. Dawood. It was a real pleasure for me to have the opportunity to talk with you today. Thank you for sharing your insight and your experience on these key industry shaping topics. And we very much look forward to continuing the discussion at ESF MENA next month. Until that time, please stay safe and stay well.
Thank you for having me, and looking forward to a future, a clean, environmentally friendly world.
Thank you very much. Thank you.